Hello everyone, good morning. Today we are going to discuss about what is member server and what is client and what is domain controller and how to create a user account in the domain controller. So first, client. A computer joined in the domain with a client operating system. So we called client. So the computer joined in a domain controller with a client operating system. That is called client. Okay, like operating systems, Windows 7, XP, Windows 8, Windows 10, Windows 11. So whatever the system having client operating systems and join that mission in domain controller, we called clients. From the domain controller perspective, that is the client. Okay, so coming to what is member server. A computer joined in the domain. Please mute yourself, guys. What is member server? A computer joined in a domain with server operating system. With server operating system is called a member server. So what are the server operating systems? Windows Server 20, Windows Server 2000, 2003, 2008, 2012, 2016, 2019, 2022. So these are all the server operating system. So if any mission having server operating system and joined in a domain controller, I mean domain. So we call that server member server. That is a member server. So now you tell me, yesterday we have installed Windows 7. Okay, we have installed Windows 7. Let me turn on this Windows 7 and add this mission to domain. What is our domain name? ARN something. Okay, so domain name is ARN. So we add this mission, Windows 7 mission, to this domain. So now this is a client or a member server. Can anyone guess? Can anyone tell me? Is this client or member server? This is the client because this mission having Windows 7 operating system. So this system treated as a client by the domain controller. So this is domain. arn.com is the domain and domain controller is win-ad. This is a domain controller. Okay. So let's see. How did you say this is the client? This is the server. Okay. Is there any way to check whether this server or a client? Yes, I will show you. Go to command prompt. Go to command prompt and net accounts. See, net accounts. This is the primary. See, if you see primary, this means it's a primary domain controller. If you go to here and command, go to command prompt, net accounts. What is this? Workstation. Workstation is nothing but client. Workstation is nothing but client. See, the primary is nothing but domain controller. Primary is nothing but domain controller. Workstation is nothing but client. So we will configure and will install and configure member server today. Okay, member server. So the member server should have server operating system. Nothing in it, only server operating system. A system having a server operating system and joined in the arn.com domain. That system will become a member server. So for that, I'm creating a one virtual machine. Okay, go to File, create a new virtual machine, click Next. Click Next. I'll install operating system later. Windows Server, Microsoft Windows. I'm choosing Windows Server, yeah, 2012. Click Next. See, member server, member MS, member server. Okay. So I'm changing the path where I have a enough space in my system. Go to see F drive, VMs, VM, I think. Here I need to create a one machine. I need to create a folder like member server. Okay. So I'll take this path so that virtual machine will store in this path. Okay. Click Next. I'm giving 40 GB disk space. Click Next. Finish. MS. Edit virtual machine settings. Click Edit virtual machine settings to increase RAM. To increase RAM to 4 GB and processors 40 GB is enough. If you want to increase the hard disk now, you can increase like click expand and you can give like 50 GB. You can expand here also. Okay. Okay. Then go to CD DVD drive and select where image, ISO image. Go to, see, I have a Windows OS images here. I'm Windows 2012 image. Okay. Click OK. Now turn on the power. Okay. So I'm going to install Windows Server 2012 operating system in this machine, nothing else in this machine. So now this machine, when I add this machine to domain, our domain arn.com, then from the domain perspective, this machine will become a member server. So this is, one second, this is workstation. Workstation is nothing but, one second. Workstation is nothing but client, and primary is nothing but domain controller. Okay. So let me shut down Windows 7 machine. Otherwise it will become a slow. Okay. Let me shut down for some time. I will restart later. I will reboot later, shut down. Okay. Now installation steps, you guys all knew because we discussed previous classes. So we need to select English India, time and currency. Rest of all same. Install. So any yeah. So selecting GUI, accepting the license, custom. So there is a 50 GB. So create a 30 GB partition one, and remaining also unallocated space. So I created two partitions. let's format the partitions. Format. Okay. Now click next. So I'm going to install the operating system primary partition 2. So it is going to install. Okay. So what is client? What is member server? We are discussed, right? So what is local servers? Sorry, local users and domain users. What is the difference between local users and domain users? See, local user, as I said yesterday, for example, local users. So this is a mission. This is another mission. Okay. This one. One minute. Sys2, this is Sys2. Okay. So I created a users like J, okay, Rohan, some random names, whatever I'm getting random names. Here, Divya, Radhika. Okay. See, these users were created in this mission. In the sys1 mission, I created 2 users, and sys2 mission, I created 2 users. So these users are treated local users, because these users created in this mission, and these users can log into this mission only in the network. These users cannot log into any other mission. Okay, so these are local users. So these users works in this mission only. These users cannot log into any other missions. So we called local users. Okay. So what is domain users? What is domain users? Okay. See, this is a domain controller. This is domain controller, DC. We call DC in short form. DC means domain controller. So in the domain controller, I created users like Ram Sam. I created users here. We call domain users. Domain users. These are all domain users because these users, for example, under this domain controller, okay, these are the missions, workstations or client missions. Whatever we can call, you can call it. Even workstation, client, both are same. Okay, so let's use workstations. Okay, workstation 1. Okay, so these workstations, yeah, these are the workstations. These workstations, for example, this workstation was added to DC, domain controller. Okay, this workstation was added domain controller. So hence these users, whatever we created users in the domain controller, these users can able to log in here, So that is the reason we called it domain users. And if the workstation if wasn't added to domain controller, the users cannot log into the workstations. Because if we add workstation to domain controller uh, domain controller having a control on this workstations, having a control. Once these workstations added to domain controller, this domain controller will get a control on this workstations. If we don't add the workstations, domain controller cannot control these workstations. So if workstations added to domain controller, then the domain controller control these missions. Okay, so that coming to just give the password of administrator. Okay, now go to settings, display, stretch, free stretch, and go to NAT, select VM NAT. We have to select NAT. Okay, and Control Alt to Del. Just log into the mission. And install the VM tools. Install VM tools. Double click on it. Okay, install. So let it install. So in the real time, every workstation was going to connect domain controller, because so in for example, like nowadays TCS, Infosys, HCL, they're having almost 1 lakh workstations, because their employees also 1 lakh. So they if they want to control all the workstations, they have to add all the workstations to the domain controller, then only they can control. So how we are going to control using domain controller for the workstations, we will discuss in upcoming classes. So all the concepts all about how to how to maintain maintain the workstations by domain controller. Okay, so finish, restart. So hope you get it. What is client and what is member server, and what is local user, and what is domain user. If you don't understand, please let me know so that I'll repeat. If you want me to repeat, I'll repeat. Any questions, guys? If you don't understand, please let me know. I will repeat the concept. Okay. Now we will add this server, I mean member server, to domain controller. So in the domain controller, Control Alt to del, I log into domain controller. Go to tools, Active Directory, users and computers. Click Active Directory, users and computers. See, if you see here, computers, this is the client, this machine. So here we can see what are the workstations were added in the Active Directory under computers directory. Okay, and click here domain controller. So who is the domain controller? Win-AD. Win-AD, right? This server itself a domain controller. If any other domain controllers along with this domain controller, we can see here. Okay. So in the computer section, we can see only client. Okay. So let's add this. Go to local server. See here workstation. This is workstation. So on this mission, no one has a control on this mission, and this mission doesn't have a control on any other systems. Vice versa, there is no control on this server, and this server doesn't have a control on any other server. Okay, so let's change the name. Let's change the name. Like I'm going to configure ADC tomorrow. So that is the reason I'm just giving ADC, additional domain controller. So I'm giving name WinADC. Okay, apply. Restart. Okay, now try to log in. So if you observe, I'm just login with just local user, with the local user called administrator. Okay, so there is no ARN, there is no domain name before this. Let me show you again. Let me sign out. If you Control Alt to del, see administrator. There is no domain. It is a local user. It clearly indicates that it is a local user. If it is a domain user, you will see before the user, you will see the domain name. So here there is no domain name. This is a local user. Okay. Now we will add this mission to domain controller. So before adding the domain controller, make sure we should assign the IP address. Okay. Go to local server. Double click on it. Go to properties, TCP IP, and see we need to give 192.168.223. And what is the IP of this server? Win 10, right? So I'm going to give the next IP address 11, because this is also going to be a domain controller in upcoming classes. So that's the reason I'm giving next IP address of this. So that is not a rule. You can give 200 also. Just I'm giving 11. So 192.168.223.10. Okay. Click OK. Click OK. and select uncheck the IPv6 because we are not using IPv6 IP address. Okay, done. Yeah, now it's changed. So computer name is good and IP address is good. Now it is a workstation machine. It is a work group machine. Now I will add this machine to domain controller. See, if you see here, there's only client machine. If you see here, only WinADC machine. Okay. Once we add this machine, you can see the server here. Okay. Now click here and work. Change. Give domain name. What is the domain name? ARN. ARN is the domain name .com. So I'm adding this machine to arn.com domain. Click OK. Administrator. This administrator user of domain. This is the domain administrator user, not local user. See here, domain arn.com. So I'm giving this user of this domain controller. So click OK. Welcome to arn.com. Close. Restart. Now this, you can see here, let it reboot. Refresh. See, now we can see WinADC here. In a client, see, in computers, we can see WinADC. So because this mission was added to domain controller, so that is the reason it's showing here. Whatever the missions were added, okay, can see here. Control. See, now here it is showing WinADC, not WinADC, other users. See here, sign into ARN. Now ARN/administrator. So I'm logging to this server with a domain user. Now see, go to local server. See, now it has become a domain. See, domain member server. So this computer has been added to domain called arn.com. Now let's see net accounts. Run this. So this is server means member server. So when let me turn on this. So it is showing client workstation. This is showing server and this is showing primary. So primary means domain controller. Server means member server. And this workstation means client machine. Okay. So this is nothing, no services in it. So if you observe, nothing, only operating system. That's it. This system having only operating system. That is the reason this is a member server. Why it got a member server? Because the operating system is server operating system. Why this machine got a server status? Because the operating system is a server operating system. Why this machine got a workstation? Because this machine having a client operating system like Windows 7. So that is the reason this machine got a workstation status. Okay. Are you clear? Any questions? Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, good. So let me show you this. So because of operating system, the system's status will be different. So here server operating system. That is the reason got a member server status. This this mission having a server operating system and this mission having a active directory services also. This mission having active directory services. See, active directory services. That is the reason this mission become a primary. This mission got the primary status. Primary is nothing but domain controller. Domain controller. Because of all these components like operating system and active directory services, this mission got a primary status, means domain controller status. So this mission only operating system, server operating system. This mission having only server operating system. That is the reason this server got a member server status. Okay, let me load. It is taking a lot of time to load. Okay. Because why we got slow, three servers are running along with my physical server. So 4 servers. Net accounts. See, workstation. Why this machine got a workstation status? Because this machine having Windows 7 operating system. Windows 7 operating system. That's the reason this machine got workstation status, means client. So are you clear? These are the clear technical words: primary, workstation, member server. Okay. So we never called a workstation in our day-to-day discussion. We call it client. So client is nothing but workstation. Okay. Both are same. And here primary. Primary is nothing but domain controller. We called it domain controller. Okay. So primary, workstation, server. Server means member server. So nothing in this server, no services, only just operating system. So that is the reason it is a just server. Okay. Now, so far, I logged into all the systems with the administrator account, right? Administrator account. If you see administrator account. So where we need to create a users. So open the Active Directory use and computers. So let me open again. Tools, Active Directory use and computers. Okay. Here users. So you right click on it, new, create a user. Either way, or you can right click on the empty place, go to new users, or see here symbol. Click here, you can create a new user. So in the 3 ways you can create a user. Either you want to create from here or here or here. Same. See? Same template. And if you right click here, new user, same template. Click here, same template. Okay. Okay. So click here. So what is the user? So KGF, either KGF. I'm going to create a user KGF. So in the real time, if you become a Windows administrator, you will get a mail from the HR that so and so user going to join in our organization on a particular date. So please create a username for him. So HR team will provide the first name, last name, full name, initial, everything. They will provide you the information about new joining. Okay. So they will send an email to you. So once you get the email, you have to fill the details. new joinee first name, last name, initial and full name, and what is the user login. Okay. So for example, let's give my name ARN. Sorry. Uh, okay. CH. So this is my first name, last name, initial, full name. Okay. Let's give here 9. Okay. So last name, I'll give initial. Okay. So this is Anantrao Naidu CH. Now I'm giving ARN. So I want to give the short. So username should be short, not lengthy. So I'm giving ARN. So this is the username. Okay. So in our terms, we initials are our surnames usually. So last name means so it's a different and North Indians having a different uh, type of last name, first name. So there is a conflicts between South India and North India. So we call initial, we call surname. They will feel uh, uh, another name. Okay. So HR team will give you clear instructions how to create a user. I mean, what are the first name, last name, everything. So you can create ARN. I'm giving password. So initially, administrator gives some password like ABCD@123. ABCD@123. I'm giving. Okay. See, you have make sure check this box because user must change the password and next login. Even you are an administrator, you should not know others' password. You should not know others' password. So you are you are you are forcing the new joinee to change his or her password. So user must change the password at next logon. Okay, click finish. And now you will reply email saying to your HR saying, so username is ARN and password is ABCD@1234. Ask him to log in his machine, in his workstation or her workstation. So now HR will forward that mail to new joinee. Okay, that way the real-time process will happen, the real-time process. So once I'm the ARN, so I want to log into this mission. This is my mission. So log off. So this is my mission. I want to log in with my username and password. Okay. So I got a mail from HR. Now I will log in with my username. Control Alt to Del. Switch user. ARN. Okay. ARN. Username. Password ABCD@123. 123 or 4. I give. Okay. Let's give. See, user password must be changed before login on the first time. So if I cancel it, I cannot log in. So I should change the password, then only I can log into this mission, right? So now this password ABCD@123, okay, enter. So click OK. Now it is saying set the new password for your user. So I'm assigning my password, setting up new password for my account. So this is my new. So this password doesn't know and even never know the administrator. Okay, why the administrator forcing me to change? Because he only created the password for my account. So as per the rule, he should not know my password, because he may do some unauthorized activities with my account. There are chances. For example, if your account, if your ATM pin knows, if anyone, if you disclose your ATM pin to anyone, what will happen? They will withdraw your money. So likewise, if you know your password, if you know your password, others will may misuse your account. So you must change the password. So click OK. See, your password has been changed. Click OK. So this password, except me, no one knows my account password. So it's preparing. So this is called a domain user. See, user got created here and log into this mission, because whatever the missions were added to this domain controller, those missions will be controlled by the domain controller, and domain users can log into the missions, into the added missions. So preparing your desktop means creating your profile. We will discuss about profiles in upcoming classes. So why it is taking a lot of time means preparing downloads, documents, desktop, favorites. So there are many folders creating during this. That is the reason it is taking a lot of time. First time, when you log into the mission first time, it may take at least 2-3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes to create a profile. So what is the profile? I'll show you. Where the profile will store, I will show you just a minute. Go to C drive, users, ARN. So in ARN, this is the profile. So contacts, desktop, downloads, favorites, my documents, music, pictures, all these folders got created during that time, during when you log in the first time. When you log into the system first time, these folders will create. So the set of folder we called a profile. ARN is a profile. So if you log into this mission also, the ARN profile will create. User profile will create. Let's see. There is no ARN profile. So let me log into this mission also. Okay. So there is no ARN. Sign out. Control Alt to del ARN. Okay. Password. See. I think this mission is so quick to create a profile. Go to C drive and see the profile. Users. See, now ARN able to see. Right? Are you able to see the ARN? See, this is the profile. So only this profile got created at the first time login only. First time login only. So this is the theory. Read this theory part. So any questions, guys? Any questions? Okay, good. So that's all for today. So you can keep creating the users in the Active Directory, and those users able to log into the missions in the network. What are the missions were added to the domain controller? So the domain controller will manage the systems. What are the added missions? See, now the domain controller manage this client and WinADC computers, means workstations or member servers, whatever. So based on the system operating system, the status will be given. Okay, and services, and based on the services running in the system and operating system, based on these parameters, the status will be given. Okay, and this is the domain controller. So only one domain controller, WinADC is the domain controller. All the domain controllers display here, and workstations and member servers displays here. Okay, ARN is a domain. Keep that in mind. Domain, it is a logical, not physical, it is a logical thing. And WinADC is a physical, WinDC is a WinAD is a WinAD is a physical thing. It is a server. See, this is the server. WinAD means this is the server. Okay. So that's all for today. Any questions? So we already discussed this AD logon process. So what is the backend process of this is the interview question. So if anyone asks how the client, how the user is log into the missions, what is the backend process? So you have to explain this process. Okay. Any questions?
Good morning, sir.
Yes. Good morning.
Sir, I have actually doubted installation process that we have installed VM workstation for Linux purpose.
Mm-hmm.
That which you have sent it is different version. So can I use in that, or else I need to download this version? Say, but it is not supporting this version what we have downloaded.
Okay. Okay. Oh, that is. Let me stop the recording. I will.